Ye Xuan returns to Canglan Academy with only one thought in his heart to see Ye Lian again. But the reunion he expected turns into rage when he discovers that Cangmu Academy has taken his sister and used her to force him into a deadly trap. With killing intent burning in his eyes, Ye Xuan walks alone toward Cang Mountain, where Fen Jue, Cangmu Academy, and countless enemies are waiting. This time, the battle is not only about survival. It is about dignity, blood, family, and whether Canglan Academy will continue to bow its head or finally rise. Now, let us follow the next developments in The First Sword God, Episode 15. It had been a long time since he had seen his younger sister. Returning this time, Ye Xuan was naturally very happy. He had never been separated from Ye Lian for so long before. It could be said that he had missed her terribly. Right now, he only wanted to see Ye Lian as quickly as possible. In the blink of an eye, Ye Xuan had rushed to the top of the mountain. But when he reached the summit, he froze. He did not see Ye Lian. His voice just now had been loud enough for all of Canglan Mountain to hear. Under normal circumstances, his younger sister should have heard him, but Ye Lian had not appeared. Had something happened, Ye Xuan's heart sank. He was about to enter the hall when Xianxia walked out from within. She looked at him and said, "Something happened to the little girl." The moment he heard those words a sword cry suddenly rang out from inside Ye Xuan. Ye Xuan stared fixedly at Xianxia. Where is she? Killing intent. Obvious killing intent filled Ye Xuan's eyes. That killing intent made Xianxia immediately frown. "You need to calm down, you." Before she could finish speaking, Ye Xuan had already appeared in front of her. A sword was pressed between her brows as he asked through clenched teeth, "I asked you where she is." His voice was trembling. Clearly, he was already on the edge of losing control. Not only that, the sword in his hand was trembling continuously. Xianxia looked at Ye Xuan, then said, "Fen Jue told you to go to the Cang Mountain path. I have already sent word to grandfather. He will return soon. You." Before she could finish, Ye Xuan had already turned and rushed down the mountain. "Do not act rashly." Xianxia hurriedly shouted from behind. But Ye Xuan had already vanished below the mountain. Seeing this, Xianxia's expression immediately changed. She knew something terrible was about to happen. She hurriedly crushed a transmission stone, then rushed down the mountain after him. Ye Xuan ran down the mountain at full speed. His eyes were gradually turning blood red, and his expression carried not only ferocity but madness. His younger sister was the only reverse scale he had in this world. For her, there was nothing he would not do. Many people along the way were drawn by Ye Xuan's movement. When they saw him, several recognized him. "That is Ye Xuan. What happened to him? He seems to be heading toward Cangmu Academy. No way, is he looking for death? Go, let us follow and see." Before long, quite a few curious people on the street were following him. Ye Xuan ran wildly through the streets. It did not take long before he reached the small Cang Mountain path beneath Cangmu Mountain. There Ye Lian had her hands tied with a blood-red rope and was hanging from a wooden post. Her face was pale and she looked extremely helpless and frightened. When Ye Xuan arrived at the Cang Mountain path and saw Ye Lian, he froze on the spot. At that moment his mind went completely blank. Ye Lian also saw him. Tears immediately streamed down her face. "Big brother, run." Ye Xuan slowly closed his eyes. Two clear trails of liquid slowly slid from the corners of his eyes. At that moment, several students of Cangmu Academy suddenly walked up to Ye Xuan. One of them was just about to speak when a sword suddenly flew out from Ye Xuan's body. Slash. The Xianxia sword cut down, and the body of the Cangmu student in front of Ye Xuan was split in two. Blood and organs immediately sprayed everywhere. Seeing this, everyone around them froze. Especially those who had rushed over to watch the show. What was Ye Xuan planning to do? Had he come here to kill people? After Ye Xuan killed that student of Cangmu Academy with a single sword strike, he did not stop. He gripped the Xianxia sword and thrust forward. Another student's expression changed completely. He retreated quickly, but by then the sword in Ye Xuan's hand had already pierced toward him. Hiss. The man's head separated from his neck as he retreated. Ye Xuan appeared behind the headless student. His right hand grasped the Xianxia sword. In the next second he swung his sword again, hiss. A flash of sword light appeared, and the body of the remaining student was cut apart by that strike. Sword Cultivator. He is a great sword cultivator, someone cried out in shock. A great sword cultivator. Hearing those words, the crowd immediately erupted into noise. Sword cultivators were extremely rare in Jiang Kingdom. They were not non-existent, but they were very few. Many people admired sword cultivators deeply. To hold a sword and cultivate the Tao, to ride a sword through heaven and earth, that was the dream of countless people. Now that they saw Ye Xuan was a great sword cultivator, many people immediately became excited. They forgot about Cangmu Academy and Canglan Academy. They only wanted to watch a sword cultivator kill. No one knew who spread the news that Ye Xuan had come to Cangmu Academy, but before long, countless people were rushing toward Cang Mountain. The number of people at the foot of the mountain grew larger and larger. In the distance, Ye Xuan had already killed several students of Cangmu Academy. Every one of them had been killed instantly. At that moment, a middle-aged man suddenly appeared before Ye Xuan. This person was Lai Tu, one of the 3 vice heads of Cangmu Academy. Lai Tu looked coldly at Ye Xuan. You dare openly come to my Cangmu Academy to kill people, you. Ye Xuan pointed his sword at Lai Tu and asked through clenched teeth, kill people. Was it not the students of your Cangmu Academy who summoned me here? I have come, where are your people? As soon as he finished speaking, he cut off the head of a Cangmu student who was still wailing in front of him. PFFT. Blood sprayed across Ye Xuan's body. Ye Xuan raised his head and looked at Lai Tu, shouting, this few people is too little. How is it enough for me to kill? Where are the students of Cangmu Academy? Bring more. Lai Tu stared fixedly at Ye Xuan. Killing intent flashed in his eyes and he was about to act. But at that moment a voice suddenly sounded, tusk tusk. The students of Cangmu Academy invited someone here for a duel, and now you want to bully the young with the old. Lai Tu turned and looked not far away. An old man was slowly pushing a black-clothed woman in a wheelchair toward them. The black-clothed woman's eyes were closed. The words just now had come from her. Lai Tu stared at the black-clothed woman, but she showed no fear. Cangmu Academy used this young man's younger sister to lure him here. What now? Are you trying to bully the young with the old? Or is there no one left among the younger generation of your academy? Hearing the black-clothed woman's words, many people immediately began whispering among themselves. The way they looked at Lai Tu became a little strange. Bullying the young with the old, that was absolutely shameful. At that moment, a figure suddenly walked down from the Cang Mountain path. Behind that figure were several dozen students of Cangmu Academy. Before long, that person appeared not far from Ye Xuan. It was Fen Jue. Behind him stood a group of students. Fen Jue glanced at Ye Xuan, then turned to Lai Tu. Vice head, does this person really require you to act? Leave him to us. Lai Tu nodded. Do not underestimate him. Fen Jue curled his lips. He turned to look at Ye Xuan. I did not expect you to really come and save your younger sister. It seems you do have some courage, you. At that moment, Ye Xuan suddenly vanished from where he stood. Seeing this, Fen Jue's expression changed slightly. His reaction was extremely quick. The moment Ye Xuan's sword came toward him, he shifted his body. At the same time, his right hand chopped toward Ye Xuan's waist. Whoosh. A wind blade appeared in his palm and swept straight toward Ye Xuan's abdomen. Ye Xuan reversed his hand and slashed downward. Boom. The wind blade was immediately shattered by his sword. At this moment, Fen Jue suddenly appeared in front of Ye Xuan. In an instant, countless wind blades attacked Ye Xuan from all directions. Ye Xuan stomped his foot against the ground, leapt up, and then chopped down with his sword. One sword decides life and death. The moment this sword strike appeared, Lai Tu's expression changed instantly. Because its power had completely surpassed the scope of the Imperial Kai realm. Fen Jue's expression also shifted. Clearly, he had not expected Ye Xuan's sword strike to be this terrifying. If Ye Xuan's previous sword could only be called decent, then this sword was like something that could destroy heaven and earth. The contrast was too great. For a brief instant, Fen Jue was stunned. But he recovered very quickly. Then he suddenly brought his hands together. Fierce winds appeared around him, and those winds quickly swept toward Ye Xuan's sword strike. But when Ye Xuan's sword fell, those winds shattered immediately. The sword carrying a streak of sword light came chopping straight down. Boom. Fen Jue was immediately shaken and sent flying more than 10 zhang away. The moment he stopped, Ye Xuan appeared in front of him again and chopped down with another sword strike. It was still one sword decides life and death. This sword was even stronger than the previous one. As it descended, it seemed ready to split the ground apart. Fen Jue narrowed his eyes and stomped his right foot against the ground. Boom. Borrowing the force of the earth, his entire body retreated. But Ye Xuan's sword still came down. Boom. The ground instantly split open. A huge force and sword light sent Fen Jue flying again. When he landed, Ye Xuan immediately appeared before him and gripped the sword with both hands, chopping toward him. But at that moment, a figure rushed toward Ye Xuan. It was another student of Cangmu Academy. Seeing this, the surrounding crowd instantly erupted into noise. Was this not supposed to be a one-on-one duel? Ye Xuan turned his head. In the next second, he suddenly changed the direction of his sword and slashed to the right. Whoosh. The student who had just rushed over was instantly sent flying by that strike. As the student flew backward, Ye Xuan swung the sword in his hand. Hiss. The student's head immediately flew off. Blood sprayed and the head rolled several zhang away. Ye Xuan waved his right hand, and the Xianxia sword returned to his grip. Fen Jue, however, had already retreated several dozen zhang away. His eyes were now full of seriousness. Not only Fen Jue, but the other students of Cangmu Academy were also horrified. Clearly, Ye Xuan's strength had completely exceeded their expectations. Ye Xuan did not stop. He charged toward Fen Jue and the others in the distance. The surrounding people froze. Was he planning to fight an entire group alone? Fen Jue's expression turned savage. I will do it myself. As soon as he finished speaking, he pointed one finger at the space between his brows. In the next second, an aura immediately enveloped his body. Boom, an invisible power appeared. Nether Passage Realm, someone cried out in shock. He must have used some kind of secret technique. Fen Jue slowly walked toward Ye Xuan. The aura around him grew more and more terrifying. At this moment, no one noticed that beneath Ye Xuan's feet, a powerful force was silently gathering. The two of them drew closer and closer. At that moment, Fen Jue threw a punch. The moment his fist came out, the power contained within it was like a volcanic eruption, as if it wanted to stop Ye Xuan in place. At that moment, the power of the earth had already gathered from the soles of Ye Xuan's feet into his body. Then Ye Xuan chopped down with his sword. Boom. The force Fen Jue released instantly shattered. Immediately after, he was sent flying again. The moment he hit the ground, Ye Xuan appeared before him and slashed down. Ye Xuan. At that moment, Ye Tu's voice rang inside Ye Xuan's mind. If you kill that boy, my Cangmu Academy will make sure you and your sister die without proper burial. But Ye Xuan still cut down. Hiss. Fen Jue's body was split in half from the middle. Ye Xuan still did not stop. He swung his sword again. In the blink of an eye, Fen Jue's corpse was carved into countless small pieces. Those pieces formed the character Cang. Ye Xuan raised his head and looked at the distant students of Cangmu Academy. He roared like a wild beast. What is wrong? Are you all crippled? Damn it, come and fight me. The surroundings fell utterly silent. Everyone stared at Ye Xuan. They could all see that the sword cultivator before them had already killed to the point of near madness. This place was Cangmu Academy. At this moment, many people turned to look toward Cangmu Academy. After being provoked like this by Canglan Academy, how would Cangmu Academy respond? The expressions of Ye Tu and the others in the distance were rather ugly. Ye Tu in particular had never expected Fen Jue to be killed by Ye Xuan. Fen Jue, one of the top monsters of Cangmu Academy. And he had died just like that. This was a student the Academy had carefully nurtured. Of course, at this moment, Ye Tu felt more shock than anything else, because Ye Xuan's current strength had become far stronger than before. Especially the power of that final sword strike, it had even made his expression change. He was growing too fast. Ye Tu stared fixedly at Ye Xuan. His eyes contained obvious killing intent. At this moment, Ye Xuan walked up to Ye Lian and raised his sword to cut the rope binding her. The little girl fell into his arms. Ye Lian hugged Ye Xuan tightly, big brother. Ye Xuan brought her to the woman sitting in the wheelchair. He crouched down and said, "Please look after her for me for a moment." The black-clothed woman was silent for a moment, then nodded, "She will be safe." Ye Xuan turned and walked toward the distant students of Cangmu Academy. At that moment, Ye Lian suddenly said in a trembling voice, "Big brother." Ye Xuan stopped. "In this life, I have only one family member, and that is you. Whoever bullies you, I will kill them." After saying this, he carried his sword and walked toward the students. He gave a cold smile. "What? Is Cangmu Academy full of cowards? No one else is coming. Were you not the ones who called me here? Now that I am here, are you all crippled, arrogant?" One student jumped out and pointed at Ye Xuan angrily. "Ye Xuan, this is Cangmu Academy, how could we allow you to?" At that moment, Ye Xuan suddenly vanished from where he stood. Whoosh. A streak of sword light flashed. The expression of the student in the distance changed completely. He did not dare block Ye Xuan's sword at all and immediately retreated. But at that moment, the sword in Ye Xuan's hand suddenly flew out. In the next second, the Xianxia's sword had already arrived before him. Just then, a powerful force struck Ye Xuan's Xianxia's sword. Boom. The Xianxia's sword was knocked away. Everyone looked toward Lai Tu not far away, because the one who had acted was Lai Tu. Seeing Lai Tu act, the expressions of those watching immediately became strange. Ye Xuan grabbed the Xianxia's sword. He raised his head and looked at Lai Tu. Lai Tu was about to speak when Ye Xuan said through clenched teeth, "Cut the nonsense. Right now, I only want to kills." As soon as he finished speaking, he suddenly stomped the ground and flew above Lai Tu's head. He chopped down with one sword decides life and death. The moment this sword strike appeared, the sound of the air exploding rang all around. Seeing Ye Xuan attack Lai Tu, everyone around them froze. Had Ye Xuan killed until he had gone mad? This was Lai Tu, a vice head of Cangmu Academy, and a peak Nether Passage realm expert. At this moment, Lai Tu's expression also became savage. He raised his right hand, then slapped upward. A terrifying force burst from his palm. Boom. Ye Xuan and his sword were forced backward, but Lai Tu was also pushed back about one jang. Seeing this, the expressions of everyone around them changed. Ye Xuan could force Lai Tu back. Lai Tu himself was shocked as well. He had not expected Ye Xuan's sword strike to be so powerful that it could push him back across two major realms. He was a peak Nether Passage realm expert, too monstrous. Lai Tu stared fixedly at Ye Xuan. The killing intent in his eyes was undisguised. If a monster like this grew stronger, he would definitely become a powerful enemy of Cangmu Academy. Thinking this, Lai Tu wanted to attack again. But at that moment, the black-clothed woman in the wheelchair on the other side suddenly said, "What is this? Does Cangmu Academy truly have no one left? Do you want to bully the young with the old?" The surrounding people began whispering again. When they looked toward Cangmu Academy, their expressions were strange, and their disdain was obvious. Ye Xuan had come for a duel, yet Cangmu Academy needed a vice head to step out against him. This was clearly bullying the young with the old. Lai Tu turned and looked at the black-clothed woman. "Who are you?" The woman shook her head, "Just an ordinary person." After saying this, she raised her head and looked toward Cang Mountain. "There are at least 10,000 people here today. Does Vice Head Lai truly not care about the 1,000-year reputation of Cangmu Academy?" Lai Tu narrowed his eyes. His expression became somewhat ugly. Reputation. Naturally, Cangmu Academy cared about its reputation. If he acted now, this matter would definitely spread throughout Jiang Kingdom very quickly, and perhaps even to other countries. At that time, Cangmu Academy would become the laughingstock of the world. At this moment, Ye Xuan in the distance suddenly pointed the sword in his hand toward the students of Cangmu Academy and sneered. "What? Is there not a single brave person in all of Cangmu Academy? Come and fight." Hearing this, the faces of those students immediately became extremely ugly. When had Cangmu Academy ever been humiliated like this? A student immediately charged toward Ye Xuan. But before he could get within one zhang of Ye Xuan, the flying sword cut off his head. PFFT, blood sprayed out. Defeated instantly with one sword, Ye Xuan did not stop, he swung his sword again. Before long, the corpse of that student was carved into a large character. Ye Xuan withdrew his sword. He raised his head and looked at the remaining students, asking through clenched teeth, no one else. Come again. As he spoke, he pointed the blood-soaked Xianxia sword directly at the students. All students of Cangmu Academy, listen clearly. My name is Ye Xuan. Today I will say this plainly. Either you beat me to death or I beat you to death, everyone around. The faces of the students of Cangmu Academy were extremely ugly. This was too arrogant. No, this was more than arrogance. This was a slap to Cangmu Academy's face in front of the entire world. At that moment, another student of Cangmu Academy rushed out. Seeing this, Li Tu hurriedly said, "Do not be impulsive, you, / The body of the student who had just rushed out was cut in half by a single sword strike, blood splashing across the ground. This student's corpse was arranged by Ye Xuan into the character academy. Seeing this, Li Tu's expression became extremely ugly. This was humiliating Cangmu Academy. At this time, more and more students walked down from Cang Mountain. Some of them had even been in seclusion, but they came out as well. Before long, more than 100 Cangmu students had gathered beneath the Cang Mountain path. When they saw the 3 bloody characters on the ground, several students among them immediately became furious. Before long, another student wanted to attack Ye Xuan. Ye Xuan stomped his right foot, lunged forward, and at the same time thrust the sword in his hand. A cold light flashed at the tip of the blade, / This sword pierced straight through the student's forehead. The long sword in the student's hand also stabbed toward Ye Xuan's abdomen, but it could not pierce his skin. Ye Xuan chopped with his sword, PFFT. The student's head immediately fell, and blood sprayed like a fountain. Ye Xuan swung his sword quickly. On the ground, 4 large characters appeared dripping with blood, Cangmu Academy. Seeing this, the expressions of several students became savage. They wanted to attack Ye Xuan as well. But at that moment, Li Tu stopped all of them and shouted angrily, "Without my order, no one is allowed to act on their own." By now, he had naturally seen Ye Xuan's strength. Ordinary students of Cangmu Academy were completely unable to withstand him. Continuing to rush forward would be no different from seeking death. An old man appeared. The newcomer was Ku Mo, vice head of Cangmu Academy. He was the very person who had once called Ye Xuan useless, someone Cangmu Academy did not want. Now Ye Xuan had appeared before him once more. Not only that, he had killed Fen Jue, Cangmu Academy's most monstrous student, and he had killed him easily. Kumo looked coldly at Ye Xuan. Then he turned to the crowd watching from not far away. "My academy has private matters to handle today. Unrelated people are to leave immediately." Hearing this, the crowd began whispering again. He was driving them away. At that moment, a group of Cangmu Academy experts appeared before the watching crowd. Someone said unhappily, "What, is Cangmu Academy afraid, or?" Not far away, Kumo waved his hand. Boom. The man who had just spoken was blasted apart by a fierce gust of wind. Seeing this, the faces of the spectators changed immediately. Then countless people fled backward. Only now did they realize that standing before them was Cangmu Academy, one of the 2 strongest forces in Jiang Kingdom. Even the Jiang royal family had to lower its head before Cangmu Academy. It did not take long before the watching crowd had fled completely. Only the black-clothed woman in the wheelchair and the old man behind her had not withdrawn. Kumo looked at the woman. "You seem to have some backing, why not show this old man?" The woman laughed softly. "With Cangmu Academy acting like this, what would I dare say?" After saying this, she held Ye Lian's hand. "Let us go." Ye Lian shook her head. "Go with her," Ye Xuan said, "be good. I will come back to find you soon." Ye Lian looked at Ye Xuan, tears falling. "You are lying to me." Ye Xuan said softly, "When have I ever lied to you? Be good, go back with this sister. I will return in a little while. When I say something, I keep my word." Ye Lian looked at Ye Xuan for a long time. Tears kept rolling down her face. At that moment, the black-clothed woman suddenly touched the back of Ye Lian's neck. The little girl immediately fainted into her arms. The black-clothed woman looked at Ye Xuan, "Take care." After saying this, she and the old man took Ye Lian and turned to leave. Only Ye Xuan remained. Ye Xuan raised his head and looked at Kumo not far away. But Kumo suddenly disappeared, boom. Without warning, Ye Xuan was struck and sent flying more than 10 zhang away. He finally crashed to the ground. He sat up and spat out several mouthfuls of blood. Kumo slowly walked toward him. "Were you not very good at fighting? Come fight me." After saying this, he vanished again. Only the sound of wind remained around them. There was no visible figure. Boom. Ye Xuan had only just stood up when he was sent flying several dozen more zhang away. Kumo was about to attack again when a figure suddenly appeared in front of Ye Xuan. Kumo stopped. The person standing before Ye Xuan was none other than the head of Canglan Academy, Old Jai. Kumo looked at Old Jai with a mocking smile. But before he could even open his mouth, Old Jai disappeared. Boom. Everyone present stared with wide eyes as Kumo, a vice head of Cangmu Academy and a divine union realm expert, was sent flying over 100 zhang away by a mysterious force. Kumo crawled up from the ground. He stammered in horror, "How could you?" He was a divine union realm expert, one of the top 2 or 3 experts in Jiang Kingdom, yet in that instant he could not even take one strike. Old Jai stepped forward. It looked like a perfectly ordinary step, but in an instant he appeared right before Kumo, crossing 100 zhang in a single step, shrinking the earth into an inch. Kumo cried out in shock, "You are not in the divine union realm." Boom. But before he could finish, he was sent flying again. Old Jai calmly lifted the wine gourd at his waist and took a sip, then he punched into the air. Rumble. The entire space trembled slightly. In midair, Kumo's face changed in panic. A vast force surged out from within him, but it had only just appeared when it scattered like clouds. In the blink of an eye, a hole appeared in Kumo's chest, and his body crashed through layer after layer of hard stone on the nearby cliff. The students of Cangmu Academy stood frozen like statues. Kumo lay limp on the ground, but his eyes still stared fixedly at Old Jai. "You hid yourself very deeply." Old Jai did not bother looking at the dying man. Instead, he turned toward Ye Xuan. At that moment, Mo Yunqi and Bai Zi appeared beside Ye Xuan. When they saw his condition, they were shocked. Ye Xuan's body was covered in countless fine cracks, and fresh blood constantly flowed from the corner of his mouth. Clearly, he had suffered not only external injuries but internal ones as well. Mo Yunqi was furious. He pointed at Kumo and cursed, "Damn this old dog. Students were fighting each other, and you dared bully the young with the old. Damn it, does Cangmu Academy have any face left?" Bai Zi nodded in agreement, shameless. Old Jai suddenly said, "Take him away, leave." Ye Xuan slowly stood and looked at Old Jai. "Leave what? I am not leaving." He raised his sword and pointed it toward the students of Cangmu Academy. Roaring through clenched teeth, "Head Jai. Canglan Academy may have few people, but we must never be cowardly. Today we fight to the end. Kill one and we break even, kill two and we profit." Mo Yunqi, standing nearby, nodded hard and said to Old Jai, "Old Jai, this time they caused trouble first. They openly captured someone from Canglan and then bullied the young with the old. If we retreat now, would we not be the greatest cowards under heaven? No, we fight. The old ones are yours. We will handle these brats." Bai Zi slowly clenched his fists as well. "Fight." Head Jai glanced at them. "Do the 3 of you truly want to fight?" Before Mo Yunqi could speak, Ye Xuan had already charged into the middle of the Cangmu students with his sword. Mo Yunqi froze. Damn. He said fight and he really just went for it. Then he and Bai Zi rushed in as well. Besides them, Jai Anjai also joined without hesitation, forming a battle of 4 Canglan students against a group from Cangmu. Seeing the 4 of them charge forward ferociously, Old Jai fell silent for a moment. Then he said to Lai Tu and the others not far away, "Anyone above the Skysoar realm who dares attack will die." Lai Tu's expression darkened. He hurriedly whispered to an old man beside him, "Has the head been notified?" The old man nodded. "The head is on his way. At most half a quarter of an hour." Hearing this, Lai Tu relaxed slightly and nodded. In the current situation, only the head could deal with that old man Jai. Once old Jai was restrained, Ye Xuan and the others would only have one path left: death. Thinking this, a savage smile curled at the corner of his mouth. All of you attack. As soon as the order was given, the Cangmu students who had still been standing to the side rushed forward together to attack Ye Xuan's group. There were more than 100 of them, and all were at least in the Imperial Kai realm. Seeing this, Mo Yunqi narrowed his eyes. Brothers, there are a little too many people. Bai Zi glanced at him. Afraid? Mo Yunqi was furious. I am not afraid of anyone. Just beat them to death. From a distant corner, Ye Xuan led the charge like the tip of a spear. With a swing of his sword, a head flew into the air. At the same time, another Cangmu student slammed into him and forced him away. The situation quickly became a chaotic melee, and Ye Xuan's group was completely suppressed. Over 100 people against 4 meant numerical suppression from the start, and among these 100, not one was truly weak. Ye Xuan's act of killing Cangmu students and arranging their corpses into the words Cangmu Academy had ignited the fury in their hearts. The fighting spirit, more accurately, the killing intent of those 100 students burned fiercely. Suppression. The moment the two sides clashed, Ye Xuan's group was forced to retreat again and again. Go up Cang Mountain. Ye Xuan's voice suddenly rang out. When Mo Yunqi and the other two heard him, they fought while retreating. Before long, they reached the foot of the mountain. The mountain path was narrow and could not hold many people at once. Because of this, Cangmu Academy's attack was greatly weakened. Ye Xuan stayed at the rear. He stomped his right foot hard against the ground, absorbing a large amount of power of the earth into his body. That power gathered inside him. He lifted the Xianxia sword and brought it down heavily onto the ground. One sword decides life and death. The Xianxia sword was already a bright sword, and now, combined with the power of the earths, this strike became more terrifying than any slash Ye Xuan had ever unleashed before. The moment the sword tip touched the ground, a dazzling burst of sword light erupted like a volcano. Boom. 6 or 7 Cangmu students standing before Ye Xuan died instantly, their bodies cut into several pieces. More than a dozen others were heavily injured. A deep crack nearly half a zhang wide split the ground open. The power of Ye Xuan's strike far exceeded Li Tu's expectations. His expression turned extremely ugly. A terrifying force like that was not something an Imperial Kai realm cultivator should be able to release. The eyes of the surviving Cangmu students were filled with horror. Not only was there icy killing intent, there was also deep fear toward Ye Xuan. Old Jai, watching from nearby, could not help showing a hint of surprise. Ye Xuan's sword had truly broken beyond the range of the Imperial Kai realm. But what shocked him even more was the force Ye Xuan had just released. Beside Ye Xuan, Mo Yunqi raised a hand to wipe the blood from his face, then nudged Ye Xuan with his elbow. Do it again, big brother. Ye Xuan took a deep breath. He planted his feet firmly on the ground and tightened his grip around the sword. The power of the earth surged in, and the Xianxia sword began trembling madly. Seeing this, the Cangmu students' faces went pale. They hurriedly retreated. At that moment, an old man suddenly appeared not far from Ye Xuan. It was the head of Cangmu Academy, Ye Xuancang. Greetings, head. Countless people bowed at once. Ye Xuancang glanced at the corpses scattered across the ground. His gaze stopped on Fen Jue for a moment, then moved to the 4 characters Ye Xuan had formed with corpses. Finally, he looked at Ye Xuan. You did this. Ye Xuan did not answer. He simply swung his sword and cut down, slash. A Cangmu student who had no time to defend was instantly cut into 2 pieces. Ye Xuancang narrowed his eyes slightly. A vast pressure appeared above Ye Xuan's head, but before it could fall, another power struck it. With a loud boom, it scattered in midair. Ye Xuancang looked at Old Jai. What is this? Do you want war? Old Jai drank a mouthful of wine. Suddenly, the ground beneath his feet shook violently. No, it was not just the ground. The entire Cang Mountain was trembling. The wind seemed to stop blowing. Even the light around Old Jai appeared to distort. Ye Xuancang's eyes narrowed, bending all things. Peak 10,000 Dharma realms. I did not expect that you have not been idle all these years. You have actually reached this level. Old Jai looked straight at him. In all of Jiang Kingdom, including you and me, there are only 4 people at the peak of the 10,000 Dharma realm. If you want to fight, I will accompany you to the end. In any case, Canglan Academy has already fallen to this state. I have nothing left to fear. Let us simply fight until the heavens collapse and the earth breaks and destroy your Cangmu Academy. What do you think? Like Xuancang glared back at him but said nothing. Fight. If they fought, victory would definitely belong to Cangmu Academy, because they had more people. But the academy would also absolutely be destroyed. At least 80% of its experts would die, and the students here would not survive either. And Canglan Academy. Right now, they only had 5 people, 4 students, and 1 head. They could be said to have nothing left, which made them even more willing to gamble their lives. It was not worth it. Like Xuancang's expression darkened as he looked at the corpses scattered across the ground. After a while, he said to old Jai, "This matter can end here, but..." He extended one finger and pointed at Ye Xuan. "This person must die. If not, then I am willing to fight like a cornered dog with you." As soon as he finished speaking, 6 figures appeared, surrounding old Jai's group from all directions. All of them were Divine Union Realm experts. Ye Xuan had to die. That was like Xuancang's attitude. Or rather, it was the attitude of Cangmu Academy. Ye Xuan's talent and strength were too terrifying. Even Fen Jue had died at his hands. If Ye Xuan was allowed to continue growing, then in the life and death duel between the 2 academies more than a year later, Cangmu Academy would definitely face great danger. But most importantly, once Ye Xuan fully matured, he could become a major threat to Cangmu Academy. Furthermore, news that he had killed countless Cangmu students had already spread through the imperial capital. Allowing him to live would be no different from a slap to the reputation and dignity of Cangmu Academy. Therefore, to like Xuancang and to Cangmu Academy, Ye Xuan had to die. Mo Yunqi Bai Zi and Jai Anjai all looked toward old Jai. Old Jai took a sip of wine and asked like Xuancang he must die. The head of Cangmu Academy answered indifferently, "If he dies, everything can still be discussed. If he does not die, there is absolutely no room for negotiation." Old Jai shook his head and chuckled. Then he suddenly turned to Ye Xuan and asked, "What do you think?" Ye Xuan looked at him. "If old Jai wants to settle this peacefully, then the best method is naturally to sacrifice me." Old Jai smiled. "Then are you willing to die?" Ye Xuan shook his head. "No, but I think old Jai is not that stupid. Sacrificing me may buy one settlement, but Canglan Academy will also have to bow its head before Cangmu Academy forever. For all future generations, it will never be able to lift its head again." After saying this, he looked at old Jai. "They captured and suppressed us first. Why should we seek peace? Our strength is indeed inferior to theirs, but so what?" The sword in his hand pointed toward Cangmu Academy. "Do you know why they and everyone in the imperial capital look down on Canglan Academy? Because we are afraid. Damn it, Canglan always acts meek and timid before them. Even we ourselves are always fearful, worrying about this and that. If even we are like this, why would they ever put us in their eyes? Canglan Academy has been kneeling for far too long. But I do not want to kneel anymore." With that, he turned toward the students of Cangmu Academy. "You asked what I think. I have only one attitude: no reconciliation, no stopping. Fight, fight to the end. Fight until all 5 of us die. Fight." Mo Yunqi jumped up. "Old Jai, ever since I joined Canglan, I have never dared tell my family I am a Canglan student. When I go outside, I do not dare wear the academy uniform either, because I am afraid people will recognize it. It is as if the moment I say I am from Canglan, I will automatically be treated like a son of Cangmu. That feeling is infuriating as hell." As he spoke, he pointed at Ye Xuan. Today, the people of Cangmu openly came and captured his younger sister. Damn it, this is suppression to the extreme. How is this any different from slapping us in the face? If we do not collect this debt, then in the future, are we just going to let them climb onto Canglan's head and sit there? Fight, fight them. At worst, we trade life for life. Beside Mo Yunqi, Bai Zi nodded as well. Fight, fight to the death. Jai Anjai did not speak, but she had already drawn her saber. Her meaning was obvious. Old Jai smiled, then looked at Lai Xuancang. "If Cangmu Academy wants mutual destruction, then we will accompany you to the end." As soon as he finished speaking, he gulped down a mouthful of wine. A terrifying pressure spread out from his body, crack crack. The ground within several hundred zhang of old Jai burst apart in an instant. That pressure swept forward like a storm, heading straight for Ye Xuan. The expression of the Cangmu head finally changed. He had originally thought that old Jai would choose to sacrifice Ye Xuan rather than fight like a trapped beast, so that he could preserve the lives of the remaining students and plan for the future. But old Jai had not chosen that. He had chosen mutual destruction. Old Jai was not stupid. He knew that if he chose to sacrifice Ye Xuan, Mo Yunqi and Bai Zi would immediately leave Canglan Academy. Even his own granddaughter would turn against him. Most importantly, if Ye Xuan's potential and strength were a threat to Cangmu Academy, then were they not also hope for Canglan Academy? How could old Jai sacrifice him? If he kept Ye Xuan, Canglan still had a sliver of hope. If he abandoned Ye Xuan, Canglan would have nothing left to hope for. No genius or monstrous talent would be willing to join an academy that had once sacrificed its own student. The moment old Jai acted, everyone on Cangmu's side changed expression. The Divine Union Realm experts surrounding him were pushed back by the pressure spreading from him, each showing fear. Peak 10,000 Dharma realms. If experts at this level fought to the death, then even if Ye Xuan's group died, Cangmu Academy would collapse. Like Xuancang's face darkened completely. He did not want to suffer mutual destruction with old Jai. Right now, Cangmu Academy was tall and powerful. Canglan Academy was about to collapse. If they fought to the end, the one who would suffer most was Cangmu. Just as a great battle was about to erupt, a voice suddenly rang out. Old Jai, wait. A gray-robed old man appeared from thin air. Old Jai stopped and turned to look. What did you come out for, old man? The gray-robed man was Jiang Yueshan, the former king of Jiang Kingdom. He was also one of the 10,000 Dharma realm experts. He smiled bitterly. If I did not appear, I fear half the imperial capital would be destroyed by you people. After saying this, he looked at Ye Xuancang. Brother Lai, since matters have reached this point, this old man will not say much more. Let me come forward as a mediator and end the matter here. Ye Xuancang sneered, end it here. He pointed at the corpses on the ground. Then did they die for nothing? Jiang Yueshan frowned. If times were peaceful, he would only wish these two sides would fight each other to death. Unfortunately, right now, Jiang Kingdom had Tang Kingdom watching from outside. This was not the time for internal strife. After pondering for a while, he said, Brother Lai, since the era of the first academy head, Cangmu Academy has enjoyed 1,000 years of glory. Among the surrounding countries, Cangmu Academy in Jiang Kingdom is the strongest and brightest. But if you continue fighting, I fear the academy will be completely destroyed. With Brother Jai's strength, mutual destruction can indeed ruin Cangmu Academy. At that time, Brother Lai would become a sinner for all ages. Hearing this, Ye Xuancang clenched his hands. His face was gloomy and no one knew what he was thinking. Jiang Yueshan continued, with Brother Lai's ability in the future. You can completely go to the main headquarters of Cangmu Academy in the central divine continent. Not only that, you may even enter the Hall of Talents. But if the academy in Jiang Kingdom is destroyed in your hands, that would not be a good thing. Ye Xuancang wavered slightly, the Hall of Talents. That was the ultimate goal of all students, instructors, and even academy heads of Cangmu Academy. Jiang Yueshan spoke again. Moreover, this is a conflict between the younger generation. Why not let them continue competing among themselves? Brother Jai, Brother Lai, what do you think? Old Jai answered indifferently, I have no problem. Ye Xuancang glanced at him coldly, fine, I have no problem either. After saying this, he turned to Jiang Yueshan. Then I ask Brother Jiang to bear witness. From this moment onward, my Cangmu Academy and his Canglan Academy will not stop until one side dies. No one above the age of 25 from either side is allowed to act. If either side violates this rule, I hope Brother Jiang will step forward and uphold justice. Is that acceptable? Old Jai and Jiang Yueshan both looked at him. Something was not right. Once this rule was applied, Cangmu would no longer have anyone capable of suppressing Ye Xuan's group. Therefore, like Xuancang's proposal was extremely abnormal. Jiang Yueshan thought for a while, then looked toward Old Jai. Old Jai looked at Ye Xuan and the others. Ye Xuan shrugged, "We have no problem." Only then did Old Jai say to like Xuancang, "Fine." Then he turned to Ye Xuan's group, "We are leaving." Under Old Jai's protection, the students of Canglan left Cangmu Academy. Jiang Yueshan sighed deeply and left as well. Like Xuancang stared grimly at the corpses of the surrounding students, lost in thought. Lai Tu, standing nearby, was about to speak when like Xuancang glared at him. "Look at what you have caused." Lai Tu's expression immediately became ugly. The other powerful figures in the academy also looked at him with unfriendly expressions. Back then, Ye Xuan had once tried to enter Cangmu Academy, but Lai Tu and Kang Zhang had forced him away. Now, Ye Xuan had become a powerful enemy of Cangmu Academy. If he had entered Cangmu Academy, Canglan would certainly have been unable to raise its head for the next several hundred years. But as fate would have it, he had gone to Canglan. What a pity, a terrible pity. These people had not thought this was a major matter before. But after witnessing Ye Xuan's strength and potential, it would be false to say they did not regret it. Even like Xuancang felt the same. He suddenly regretted not appearing personally back then. Otherwise, Cangmu Academy would never have missed such a monstrous talent. Suddenly he asked, "Is Kang Zhang still in the academy?" The old man beside him nodded, "He is still here." Like Xuancang said coldly, "Why keep him? Hang him immediately." "Yes." After a moment of hesitation, the old man nodded and left. Like Xuancang looked at Lai Tu again. "You should also clear your head." As he walked up the mountain, he said, "Issue a summons to all Cangmu academies in Qingzhou. Tell them that my Jiang Kingdom branch requires reinforcements. Whoever can kill a Canglan student like Ye Xuan will immediately be rewarded with 1 high-grade Earth rank martial skill, 1 high-grade Earth rank movement technique, 1 high-grade Earth rank cultivation method, and 500,000 supreme-grade spirit stones, summoning reinforcements." The Qingkang world had 3 great provinces: Qingzhou, the central divine continent, and Canglan province. Within Qingzhou alone, besides the Great Cloud Empire, the largest power in Qingzhou, there were nearly 100 kingdoms of various sizes. Beyond these small kingdoms, there were also thousand-year noble clans and some mysterious mountain forces. Cangmu Academy was not a mountain force, but even those mysterious mountain forces did not dare look down on it. Because Cangmu Academy was spread throughout Qingzhou. Even in the Great Cloud Empire, there was a Cangmu Academy. It was said that Cangmu Academy's headquarters was located in the central divine continent, where martial civilization was the most brilliant. Within Qingzhou, the Cangmu Academies in the various countries managed themselves, like local princes. They only obeyed the Cangmu Academy headquarters in the central divine continent. But this did not mean there was no connection between them. All the Cangmu Academies in Qingzhou competed with each other, but they also cooperated, the summons order. This was one of their ways of cooperation. If one branch encountered disaster and issued a summons, the other branches would come to help. Of course, the help was not free, a price had to be paid. And the price Cangmu Academy had to pay this time was not merely large. It was extremely, extremely large. A high-grade Earth rank cultivation method. A high-grade Earth rank martial skill. A high-grade Earth rank movement technique. And 500,000 supreme-grade spirit stones, with such a reward. Let alone killing 1 Imperial Kai realm cultivator. And a few Skysoar realm cultivators, even killing a Divine Union realm expert would tempt countless people. With a great reward, brave men were sure to appear. Before long, countless messenger pigeons flew out from Cangmu Academy and headed in every direction. The sight was magnificent, imperial capital. Cangmu Academy could not suppress what Ye Xuan had done there. Before long, almost the entire imperial capital knew. Shock. The whole imperial capital was shocked. For so many years, Canglan Academy had nearly faded from everyone's sight. No. It had already faded from everyone's sight. And now, Canglan Academy actually dared to confront Cangmu Academy. Moreover, it had won. The most terrifying part was that Ye Xuan had killed Fen Jue. one of Cangmu Academy's most monstrous talents, and then used the corpses of Cangmu students to form the 4 words Cangmu Academy right in front of the academy gates. This was a humiliation to Cangmu Academy, Ye Xuan. At this moment, the name Ye Xuan once again spread throughout the imperial capital. Unlike last time, countless people were now curious about him, some even worshipped him. Sword cultivators easily inspired admiration. It could be said that this time, Canglan Academy had forced everyone in the imperial capital to look at it with new eyes. Old Jai led Ye Xuan's group back to Canglan Academy. In front of Canglan Hall, Ye Xuan saw Ye Lian. Ye Lian immediately threw herself into Ye Xuan's arms. She hugged him tightly as if afraid he would disappear. She did not cry. She simply held him like that. In her eyes was a strange firmness. Looking at Ye Lian in his arms, Ye Xuan's cold expression softened. He gently rubbed her head. Big brother promised you he would come back, did he not? After saying this, he looked toward the black-clothed woman in the wheelchair not far away. How should I address you? The woman was silent for a moment before answering Lu Jiuj. Ye Xuan nodded. Miss Lu, thank you. The woman shook her head. You are a national scholar. I stand on Jiang Kingdom's side. This time, Cangmu Academy will definitely not let the matter go. Take care. After saying this, the old man behind her pushed her away. Jiang Kingdom. Ye Xuan looked at Lu Jiu's departing back. I will remember. The woman nodded lightly and the two quickly disappeared. At that moment, Ye Lian suddenly said, Big brother, I will go cook for you. We want to eat too. Behind Ye Xuan, Mo Yunqi chuckled. Little Lion cook for us too. Bai Zi nodded as well. I want some too, Ye Lian smiled. There will be food for everyone. After saying this, she turned and ran quickly into the distance. At that moment, old Jai, standing nearby, suddenly pointed with one finger. A moment later, 4 golden pills appeared before Ye Xuan and the others. Go heal yourselves first. Ye Xuan nodded, took his pill, and returned to his room. Mo Yunqi examined the pill in front of him, then sighed. Old Jai, this pill is not ordinary. After saying this, he looked toward old Jai. Actually, you are very rich, are you not? Since you have money, can you improve our quality of life a little? Or maybe recruit a few female students. Old Jai said softly, get lost. Mo Yunqi grinned, you can think about it, especially the last part. After saying this, he turned and ran. Bai Zi and Jai Anjai also left. At that moment, Jiang Yueshan appeared not far from old Jai. Jiang Yueshan looked into the distance and said, these 3 young fellows of yours are not bad. Especially the Ye Xuan, that boy is not simple. Old Jai said softly, normally, your royal family only wishes for my Canglan Academy to fight to the death with Cangmu Academy. I did not expect you to step out today and mediate. That was not normal at all. Jiang Yueshan smiled. I do indeed wish for you and Lai Xuancang to fight to the death, but what happens afterward? Your Canglan Academy is completely destroyed while Cangmu Academy suffers heavy losses. But would that be the end? No. Cangmu Academy and Qingzhou would continue sending people here to rebuild the academy. At that time, they would truly be the only academy left. Old Jai said softly, I understand. You want my Canglan Academy to continue holding back Cangmu Academy? Jiang Yueshan shook his head. Old Jai, this old man will speak plainly with you. This time, my royal family stands on your side. Of course, we cannot openly help you, but we can help in secret. My royal family is willing to give you some support. After all, that boy is a national scholar, and he has a rather good relationship with little Jew. My royal family values him greatly. Old Jai drank a mouthful of wine and remained silent. Jiang Yueshan smiled. Old Jai, surely you will not oppose this. Old Jai shook his head, I will not oppose it. Just do not scheme against him. Jiang Yueshan smiled. Of course not, we will secretly protect him. This person not only values emotion, but also cares about the nation. This time he helped little Jew greatly. My royal family has no ill intent toward him at all. On this old man can guarantee it. Old Jai nodded, then that is good. After saying this, he drank another mouthful of wine, turned and left. Jiang Yueshan turned his head and looked toward the back of Canglan Hall. He smiled. A great sword cultivator. What a fine great sword cultivator. After saying this, he turned and disappeared. Inside the kitchen, Ye Lian was blowing the fire and cooking. At that moment, a little girl appeared nearby. The little girl wore a small padded jacket and a long braid hung behind her head. She looked extremely adorable. Ye Lian looked at the little girl but said nothing. The little girl said softly, "Today, your big brother nearly died." Ye Lian hugged her knees and said nothing. The little girl looked straight at Ye Lian. "You have already dragged him down many times. Today, he nearly died because of you. In the future, his enemies may target you again." Tears fell from Ye Lian's eyes. No matter how she wiped them, they would not stop. The little girl walked up to Ye Lian. "You must become independent. You must also become strong. Only then will you no longer drag your big brother down. No, rather, only then will you be able to protect him in the future." Ye Lian raised her head and looked at the little girl. "Big brother is very powerful. Can I protect him?" The little girl curled her lips. "He is powerful, but he is far inferior to you. As long as you follow me, I dare guarantee that in the future, you will become even more outstanding than that national scholar and of Jiang Kingdom." Ye Lian froze, then said, Why? The little girl's smile grew wider. More accurately, she looked excited. "Because you possess the cold body, a special constitution from legend, as long as you follow me. My northern cold sect will definitely spare no effort to nurture you and help you step onto the demon ranking of the King world." Ye Lian was silent for a long time. Finally, she raised her head and looked at the little girl. "I agree to go with you." The little girl was wild with joy. But at that moment, Ye Lian said, "But I want to stay with Big Brother for a while longer." The little girl hesitated for a moment, then nodded. "Fine. When the time comes, I will come find you." After saying this, the little girl turned and disappeared. Ye Lian hugged her legs and sat before the stove, staring blankly into the fire. Night. Everyone gathered in Canglan Hall, dinners. There were more than a dozen dishes on the table, all cooked by Ye Lian and Ye Xuan. During the meal, Ye Lian continuously placed food into Ye Xuan's bowl. Every piece was meat. Mo Yunqi and the others could only watch in speechless envy. This was a real younger sister. After the meal, old Jai took a sip of wine and said, "I have some bad news for all of you. Cangmu Academy has issued a summons order. Across Qingzhou, there are a total of 72 branches of Cangmu Academy. The Cangmu Academy in Jiang Kingdom is only one of them. Now that they have sent out a summons and offered an extremely high reward. This means that the super geniuses and monstrous talents of the other 71 Cangmu Academies may very well come to Jiang Kingdom." After saying this, he looked at Ye Xuan and the others. "In the future, you will not be facing one or two monstrous geniuses, but an entire group of them. And I will not be able to act." Ye Xuan lifted the soup in front of him and drained it. "Then we fight." Mo Yunqi, sitting beside Ye Xuan, nodded. "That is all we can do." At this point, as if remembering something, he looked toward old Jai. "Old man, Cangmu Academy has so many branches. What about our Canglan Academy? Also, does Canglan Academy have no background?" Ye Xuan also looked toward old Jai. This was something he was curious about as well. Old Jai was silent. After a while, he drank again and said softly, "The headquarters of my Canglan Academy is located in the central divine continent. Like Cangmu Academy, it is also a second-rate academy. In Canglan province, our academy has a total of 108 branches." Mo Yunqi suddenly stood. "Old man, then what are you waiting for? Call for help." Bai Zi also hurriedly nodded, clearly agreeing. "Call them?" Old Jai shook his head. "We cannot call them." Mo Yunqi froze, then asked why. Old Jai answered, "Our side has fallen too far. Our Canglan Academy is the weakest branch. To speak plainly, they look down on us. They do not want contact with us and they do not acknowledge us. Understand, everyone.